Yeah, let's hope that this thing is working this time, right? So, now this is incredibly awkward, right? So, while I wait for everyone to join in again, I'm so sorry, you guys. So, um, I had this bright idea of taking advantage of the laptop and doing this live stream in a way that everyone could see me and like not use my phone because my phone apparently only does what is a portrait. Now this is I'm trying to get to do landscape, which is not working. So I give up. I need to read some tutorials about this, but if somebody can please just drop me a line and let me know if the stuff is working now, that'll be great. I'd appreciate that. um, yeah, so anyway, hey, what's up, you guys? So yo, I'm just not having a good day, am I? Okay, so let me tell you what happened, right? So last night there was this wedding that I hosted, and the people there completely pissed me off, right? KP, Salam Azad, he's a graphing, right? So yeah, so now I was pissed off because I was hosting this wedding, and I met some of the most antisocial people I've had the misfortune of meeting in my life. So there were this group of like six girls, and they're young girls. And while the function was going on, they decided that they need to have their own photo shoot, and they literally like stand on one side, and they like start posing and all of that stuff. And like there must have been like 10, 15 ladies, like just going there by them, and just like causing a ruckus. It was pissing me off. So I actually had to go to the extent of going there and like trolling them, while on the mic, and to get them to focus on what was going on. I thought it was very, very disrespectful, and I'm probably going to do a rant video about that at some point or the other. So that pissed me off yesterday, and today, so I'm here at my parents' place, and my mom was saying to me that my old bedroom, she wants to convert it into something else, and that something else being a storage room. But all of my action figures and like my displays that are currently there need to come out. She doesn't want those there anymore, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. A little bit hurt, but okay with that. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll take it out, and I started looking through the stuff that's there, and removing them. Like removing the stuff. And as I went through that process, I discovered that some of okay, wait, so let me tell you about the displays first. So what I used to do was I used to make like little dioramas and stuff, with like my displays, and just basically, how do you say, sort of like find creative ways of displaying them, action scenes and the like. And I used to go to the extent of making my own action figures. Wasn't great at it, but I survived. It was okay. Wasn't terrible, to put it mildly. And yeah, so now I had to remove all of that stuff. Guys, as you arrive, just let me know, like, if you can hear me, if you can see me, and all of that stuff, right? So thanks. Yeah, so as I was going through this stuff, I had this great idea of sharing it with you. Like showing you some of my older projects, and like hopefully inspire you to do some stuff as well. And there's something pretty awesome happening at the end of January, so I wanted to talk about that as well, right? But let me not get ahead of myself. Excuse me. So I made this announcement on the Friends of Comic Con Africa group that I'm going to be doing this video talking about the stuff, and I went to gather some of my stuff, and I realized that my mom's helper here at home actually broke some of the stuff, and actually broke some of the stuff, and didn't tell anyone. So I'm pissed, totally pissed. So I was like, okay, and then she left all the stuff like super dusty. So the first thing I had to do was like see like what I could actually show you, and then after that actually work out like, okay, what can I share? How's it gonna work and this and that. So I found some stuff, and I'm pretty proud of it. So I'm gonna show it to you. And just now, we'll probably take a walk, and there's some of the stuff that's still mounted on the wall. So we'll take a walk that side, and I'll show you. I guess that's the benefit of using this, because you can actually go there and see. Right. Okay. So let me start with okay. So I have one, two, three, four. I have five things I want to show you. There is a Turtles item. There are Spider-Man items. There is an Avengers thing, and a He-Man thing. So what would you guys like to see first? Somebody could just tell me in the comments. That would be great. So yeah, if you just tell me in the comments, and then we'll start with that. So I'm battling a little bit with the flu here. Yeah. So another thing that happened was I also, like, when I was leaving my place, Spider-Man. Okay. Okay. So the Spider-Man and Avengers. Right. So we start with the Spider-Man, then we move to the Avengers. Right. Okay. So starting out with Spider-Man. Okay. So I'll show you the basic one first. Now there is a line of action figures. It is called Marvel Select. Right. So Marvel Select is pretty awesome stuff. What was really cool about it is that the figures came with like their own diorama bases and all of that stuff, right? So what I started doing was I started building these box frames, right? So basically, it's just some wood, and I took like frames, I bought like cheap frames, and I turned them into this, right? So basically, what I was doing was I had an entire scene in a box, and this is how I display it. So I would mount these on the wall, and this actually became like more shelf space for me. So like a lot of my figures, like a lot of my 6-inch, 7-inch figures, I put them into these boxes and mounted stuff on it. So it's pretty cool. So in this one over here, this is based off artwork. I forget the actual episode, actual issue number, but it's where the Green Goblin. It's an old comic, right? Yeah, I'm just embarrassed now. I'm having a brain fart, so I can't remember the actual issue. But the Green Goblin finds out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and he attacks him. So this is a figure set, right? So this was one of the displays I made. So I found that what was really cool about it was that, like, it allowed you to showcase this form. It allowed you to showcase the actual action figure while simultaneously creating display space for you. So yeah, this was an idea that I had. So I did quite a few like this here, right? So yeah, so this is the Spider-Man one, right? Then on the topic of Spider-Man, I'm gonna show you the second Spider-Man one. Going very very quickly over here, and if it doesn't suck, like, like, say something. Like, I'm exposing myself over here, so say something, god damn it. Right? Okay, so what happened was another Marvel Select figure, because like when I started collecting, a couple years back, I found that 7-inch figures, 6-inch figures were a pretty nice place to start. Like a pretty cool place to position myself, and especially with the Marvel Select stuff, because you got all the like main characters in these ridiculously detailed forms. The figures are ridiculously detailed, excellent paintwork, wonderful figures on the whole, and it was a good representation of the different characters. So I was buying like a shitload of Marvel Select figures, and then my favorite one, like probably my favorite Marvel Select figure, sorry, was the Venom figure, because the Venom figure came with a series of different heads and all of that stuff. So it occurred to me that, okay, you know what? If you buy this figure, it's cool, but you are actually only going to get like one, like one figure. And what I'm going to do is, because I just had this brainwave on my tablet here very very quickly, I'm actually going to show you a picture of the figure that I'm talking about, so you have an idea of what I'm referring to, and then I'll show you what I did with it. Right? So yeah, I actually think that this was pretty cool. And what I decided was to take, like, damaged figures and broken figures from my childhood and my brother's childhood, like figures that we had as kids, and just to basically redo them. So I see Jonathan has joined us. How's it, Jonah? How's it? Okay, I just want to say how's it to some people. So I see Kalidas Yeslam. How's it, Antonia Bazadenhout? How's it, Antonia? Gene is here. How's it, Gene? How are you? Right. So yeah, hey guys. Those of you, I think all of you here, almost all of you over here were winners of those prints. I've now managed to get those prints out. They are on the way to you. So thank you so much for your patience. Almost there, right? Okay, so Venom Marvel Select, right? So I'm offline. Oh, okay, that's let's wait for the Wi-Fi to come on here. Yeah, so that was so that was the idea, right? So I was like, okay, I can actually take this stuff and I can basically customize them to have these new figures, and like basically do like whatever I want with them, and I have multiple ways of displaying them, right? So yeah, okay, so this is the figure that I'm, come on, open up now, right? Yeah, so now what's up here? Sorry guys, I'm making this stuff up as I'm going along. Open image, new tab. Okay, I hope you can see it, right? So this is the figure that I'm talking about, right? So if you had to Google Marvel Select Venom, you'll probably find this over here. I believe that this figure is still available at most of the stores, and yeah, you can probably get it, right. So as you can see, it has this crazy looking Venom here, right? So what I did was I took so what happens is you can see it's got all these other heads here at the back. So there's another whole piece. So I took that off the figure, and I actually made this, right? So using pieces of one figure, I actually made this entire figure here, right? So basically what it has is it has some pieces of the first figure. So that's here at the back. What was that? Okay, it has some pieces of the figure at the back, and I repurposed the head sculpt, and I made this entire base and everything with it, right? And those frames I was telling you about, I had a broken frame, so I repurposed it over here. And then this figure over here, okay, this is my rendition of Scarlet Spider. So what I did, thank you so much. So what I did was, Khalida says that's awesome, thank you. So what I did now, because I left a lot of my video equipment at home, I'm repurposing some of my mom's stuff over here. So this is on brass bowl that she has. So I'm gonna make that a display base, and I want to show you what I'm using to actually hold my camera in place. So this is a salt and okay, well, there's the pepper, right? So this is a salt and pepper thingy over there. So yeah, I have actually used this to make a nifty, handy dandy, what do you call it, thing, like a tripod for myself over there. So necessity is the mother of invention, right? So anyway, yeah, so showing you this over here, right? So, and what this was over here on the side was there was another broken action figure that I had, which I used some. It's called Super Sculpey. So it's a polymer clay, right? I'll tell you more about it in another video and how it works. But anyways, it's a polymer clay, and I used it now to repurpose this to sculpt this. So this is an entire custom figure. So the hands, the all of the stuff over here now. So I made all that shit and did the painting and all of that stuff. And then the Scarlet Spider, I took an old damaged figure that we had from childhood, and I added on some pieces to it, and sculpted his uniform and did some painting and all of that stuff over there and created this little diorama over here. So it's by no means perfect, it's by no means perfect, but it is one of a kind because I made it. And what's really cool about it is that, like, so this is wire, right? So this is wire. So the way I did it, the wire bends, right? So it has some like posability, right? Because you want that. And what's also cool is that it almost makes it look as though like he's like so he's web swinging here away, right? You see, he's web swinging here, but he's getting ready to attack over here with the web as well. So it actually makes sense. And at the same time, for the base over here to actually add some volume at the bottom, I sculpted in a piece of it, so it looks as though the tendrils and the pseudopodia are actually reaching out to grab him. But at the same time, it's what adds like the actual I'm gonna say weight to hold him in place. So this is just an example of a creative way that you can use broken parts or damaged figures to make like completely new things. So this one over here. So pretty cool of that. So let me know what you guys are thinking so far over there. I see one person has been kind enough to give me a like. You other selfish a-holes, give me some likes, god damn it. Right, okay, so I think we'll move on to the next one, which is of course the Avengers one, right? So when Age of Ultron came out, excuse me, I'm dying with this flu. When Age of Ultron came out, I got a couple, like a couple small figures, and I made this, right? So this is Hulk versus Iron Man, the Hulkbuster armor versus Hulk. Right now, unfortunately, like I said, my mom's helper, she did some silly things over here, right? So basically, how this thing was supposed to be, because she broke a piece of here, now so it doesn't stand the way it's supposed to. But it was basically like Hulk and Iron Man like getting into battle, and excuse me, it had some other pieces as well, which I can't seem to find, and I had to start this video, so I didn't have time to read. But yeah, so basically what I did over here was I took a piece of wood and I fastened nails onto it, and then and I made the rubble by using I think it was pieces of clay as well, pieces of polymer clay. So I just want to turn this thing around very very quickly so you can see. Yeah, so I have this road thing going on over here. It's terribly dusty because that lady is playing games over here, right? So yeah, so there's this Hulk bust, and this was a cheap knockoff figure, and this was an old Ed Norton Hulk that I got secondhand from this one dude, Eric Knight. So yeah, and I made this thing over here, so it was to simulate that scene. I'm just a bit bummed out that it wasn't stored properly when I left here, and as a result, it doesn't have that same look that it had when I actually made it first. So that was a bit of a sucky thing there. Yeah. So that's this one over here, right? Then, so for Ninja Turtles, I'm a major Turtles fan, and what I did was I got some knockoff figures, right? So that was AliExpress. So back in the glory days when Sapo was actually reliable, so what I did was I got these. What's happening over here now? There's a whole lot of stuff happening. Tell me if this thing is still working. Somebody can just message me and just tell me that like if the stream is still working because it's doing something wonky here on my side. So am I still on or is it off or what's going on there? I'll just wait for a second. It might turn out to be more than a second. Anybody? Somebody? Anybody? Well, okay, I'm just gonna go on in any event then. Right, okay, yeah, so, okay, Antonia says it's cool. Thank you so much. Okay, so this one here, now this one I am proud of, right? So, once again, like, the box frame idea. And so what I did was the turtles, right? I don't know if you can see it. I really hope you can see it there, right? The lighting is up to shit. Why am I being such a dumbass? Wait, one second. Let me grab this. Put it here. Let me turn the camera here. So now you can see. No, that's actually even worse, right? Okay. So can I get the glass off? Okay, so after a couple of years, I actually cannot get the glass off. Right, okay, yeah. So I made these boxes, right? So I made these boxes, and as you can see, so I created the setup with these turtles. And what I did was I took these really cheap knockoff turtles. I repainted them, and I wanted to give them that very like messy grunge look. So when they look dirty like that, that's actually what I was aiming for. So to give them this grunge look, and like it was just basically to create the scene. And the background of this is created with polystyrene, right? So it's polystyrene that's painted, and the sewer lines over there. I don't know if you can see. How did I make the boxes? Okay, I'll tell you about that in just a second. Okay, so over there in the back, I don't know if you can see it, but there are these like sewer thingies over there. Those are milk bottle caps, right? So milk bottle caps. I think this TCRI canister over here was a pen. It was a pen that I cut and painted on, and then there's just the slime and the ooze and all of that stuff over there. So yeah. So the boxes, okay. So for the boxes, what I did was, so the first versions of the boxes, so these were these ones here. So the OG ones. What I did was I went to one of the local hardware stores, and I asked them for cut-off pieces of superwood, and they told me no, they can't give me that. So I went to we've got an industrial district here in town. So I went there and I asked one of the furniture manufacturers for their offcuts, and they were happy to give it to me. And then what I did was I got them cut to scale, and I assembled the boxes. And then I bought this. It's a vinyl wrap. Well, it's this carbon fiber wrap, and I basically wrapped it. Got these frames, right? So I bought these frames. They weren't all that expensive. So I bought these frames, and I just took the front part of the frame and made it the cover of the box. So this is the first version of it. Super solid, like super solid. These things are awesome. Then I realized that now it was just way too much of effort and way too much of drama to go and ask for off cards and puzzle and fight with the guys. I was like, nah, not worth it. So I said, okay, what? For version 2, what I did was I got some masonite board, right? So masonite board is like cut cheap, it's like all over the show. And we had a whole lot here at home from when my parents were doing something, yeah. So all I did was I got the masonite board and I cut it to scale myself, right? But like I said, these things need to be cleaned up and just touched up a little bit because they haven't been maintained the way they ought to have. So I'm pretty pissed off. But you know what? I'm zen, I'm calm, I'm okay, right? So yeah, so then I made it, and then yeah, so I made this. So it's just a matter of using the Masternet board, and yeah, it worked out to be a nice thing. Now, for anyone out there who is looking for a creative way of actually creating space, maximizing space, and utilizing their space in a smarter way, I find that these box frames, you can actually get them professionally made, or you can just do it yourself, like, a little bit of elbow grease you can get done yourself, and you mount these on your walls. It actually creates like an additional shelf, and it gives you a nice way of actually displaying your figures. We're gonna go into my old bedroom just now. I warn you in advance, it looks terrible in there, right? But it's sort of like a storage room now. But I'll show you how it looks in practice. Yeah, so that was the Turtles one. And then the last one, this one here I'm pretty proud of, if I may say so myself. And I'm a massive He-Man fan. Excuse me. Bedroom views. No, no, it's not my actual bedroom. It's my family, like my old bedroom here, at my parents' place, and now it's just a storeroom. So yeah, when anyone comes to visit, they just tidy it up and just go and stay there, right? Yeah. So seeing as I'm the visitor that they have more often than not, that's what I do. Yeah, no, Khalida. Like, consider this idea. It might be pretty cool for some projects and stuff. Okay, so He-Man, right? Okay, so He-Man action figures are cuck expensive, right? So in the early 2000s, there was this line called Marvel, no, Marvel, sorry, Masters of the Universe Classics. So they basically took the old He-Man figures and they gave them all the modern sensibilities of like a Marvel Select or Marvel Legends figure, DC Direct at the time. So basically took those old piece of shit figures and brought them up to date for a new age. And yeah, I missed the boat on those because I started collecting seriously a lot after that, and I think that's a challenge that many people have. But here I managed to, so I managed to get the He-Man. I got the Skeletor, so I was pretty happy with it. But I was like, I need to find a way to display it. So I made this, right? So this is one of my favorite pieces. So it's basically, those of you who remember He-Man, like by the power of Grayskull, I have the power. So it's basically that scene there, right? So what I did was for this, and okay, so let me know how. Okay, first before I tell you how I made it, tell me how cool does this look? Like, doesn't this look like just like so freaking cool? Somebody, like I'm fishing for compliments here. Like, come on, anytime now. Say the thing, say the thing, say the thing. Thank you, Farishta. I appreciate that. Right. So let me turn the camera. Okay, falling down, falling down, falling down. Okay, so let me turn the camera around so I can show you this. Right. Okay. So basically, so I took this figure, right, and this is all polystyrene right here. Well, this is all polystyrene. Is there a torch on this thing? Is there a torch here? Enable flash. Okay. Right, okay, yeah. So what I did was, so there's a whole lot of polystyrene over here, which I cut and shaped and molded to create this entrance to Castle Grayskull. And if I tell you that this was the back of a frame, so I took the back of a frame and made that the base, and I took some toilet roll holders, or yeah, I took some toilet roll holders, and I actually made the turrets here with that. And there's a lot of cardboard and stuff over here as well. And yeah, so I just created this space and painted it up and all that stuff. And the I'm a pretty talented bloke, thanks. Yeah, I can do some stuff. Yeah, and the idea was to add in some lights there at the side, but I got tired of the project afterwards, so I left it out. And the base, we just had basic cardboard and stuff like that. So yeah, so the point that I'm making is that like your displays don't have to be like super expensive, or they don't have to be like super detailed or whatnot. Just like you make it yours. Your collection is your personal thing. It's your it's a part of you, as it were. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so it's a part of you. So, like you find creative ways of actually bringing that out, putting that in there, and you end up having like pretty unique displays. So I always try to make like my displays an extension of myself, like an extension of myself, and to actually have, how can I put it? Like, just that just a certain something that makes it you and yours. So yeah, so that's what it was. So I actually just remembered that I did, back when I was doing this, I did create not how to's as such, but like progress pics, and I was posting those on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, then you can just check that out. It's at Zaid on Instagram, and you'll be able to see like some of those pictures. So there's actually no need for anyone to go and have a look at my storeroom slash bedroom here at my parents' house at all. So yeah, but like I mean, those pictures are there, and yeah. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. And here's the reason why. So my friends well, my friends from okay. Let's rewind that for a bit, right? Okay, so my friends from Cosmic Comics, let's start there. On the 27th of this month, so on the 27th of January, they are having an arts and crafts market. So the idea being that, like, if you create something, if you make stuff, or if you have like a business that you're launching that's related to geek or geek culture, then you can have the opportunity to actually showcase your stuff there. So you can just chat to the guys, just reach out to them via social media or an email. Cool collectible, cool stuff at absamail.co.za. Yeah. So just reach out to the guys at Cosmic Comics and chat to them about actually securing yourself a space there. And yeah, you can hawk off some of your wares. So like this is random stuff that I was doing at home. I know that there are so many incredibly talented people out there who do so many incredibly talent so many incredible stuff. I'm having a bit of a sugar low at the moment. I need to go eat just now. We'd really like to see you guys over there. So I'm planning on making a turn there, hoping to pick up some lucks. I am speaking to the guys from Comic Con as well. So hopefully we'll be able to convince them to make a showing there. Maybe start our roadshow because we want to start with our marketing roadshow. Like just to come out, meet the fans, say what's up, give away some stuff. So I don't know how close to arranging that we are, but that's definitely something we want to do. So yeah, so this is just a little look into look behind the scenes into my mind. The stuff that goes on in there, the stuff that I like to create, and yeah, collecting is fun. So do the thing. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry about the false starts and all that stuff, and have a great day. Bye. Now I need to figure out how to close this thing now. Oh, right, okay, press the X. Yeah. Okay.